All right, this is the same transmission. Let me get you oriented. This is the transmission. I pointed out this little white switch. It's actually a release mechanism. It's a catch. And the part we're going to attack now is right here. And let's see, if you see the tip of this pry bar, there's a plastic ring. And in order to loosen it, you need to go lefty-loosey. So we'll see how it goes. Let's see if I can get closer. Oh, I can. That's much better. And see how it's going? It's getting loose. There. Now it's disconnected. So I can pull, get my hand in there, this out. See how it's, oops, flashlight, gravity. Sorry about that. Like I said, it's tough to do all this stuff one-handed without killing yourself. And I'm gonna try to kill myself because, oh, that'd make a great YouTube video. Oh, sorry for the confusion and the hassle. It's just the way it is when you're working on your own and you're trying to photograph it so other people can get help in what you're doing. So, there. Let's see if that'll work. That looks good. So, going back to this connector, you rotate it and you pull it out. And you'll see the little orange there, that's a seal. And the idea is to pull it out, disengage it, and you can see right there, it's out right this moment, which is all good. Now this connector is what communicates with the transmission in order to talk to the mechatronics. So we'll just leave it up there. And yeah, it's gonna be dirty. I'm gonna have to clean it. The next piece is gonna be this piece, which is the sleeve I showed you earlier. Yeah, sorry, I've gotta go wipe my hands off. My hands a little bit. Let's see if we can get my focus back. Yeah, we'll try to use the pry bar to point out where we are. And that's what we're gonna be taking out, is this. Sorry it's so bright, but it's better than having it too dark. And in order to do that, you have to take this little switch. I've never done it before. Pull it down. Now what that's done by pulling this tab down, it's disengaged that up there. Oh God, my hands are dirty again. I'll be back. All right, normally I wear gloves, but this is a case of sensitivity is important. So what I did is I disengaged this locking tab right here. Press down on this, pull the whole thing down. Be gentle, don't be brutal. This is plastic, it's been sitting in a transmission. It's vulnerable, you can break it. Take your time. If you're not sure what you're doing, stop, take a big deep breath, take your time. This is not the time to be in a rush and just yank this thing down, break it and go, oh crap. So as we look up here, this actually was very nice. It just slid out. And we're sliding it out, sliding it out. Oh, mamma mia. Sometimes it's tough, but it's no big deal. Okay, we're sliding it out. Sliding it out. Okay. We'll get it out. There we go. It's out. So this, and I'll clean up my hands a little bit. is going to be replaced by the new one. Duh. And I'm going to get some paper towels. Sorry for the camera work. It's just the way it is. So this is the new one. And you can see how nice. I'm going to back off. Oh, it won't let me back off. All right, you can see how nice and plump the seals are, how curved they are. Let's see what the old one is like. Oh, they're flat. Nice and curved. The old one, flat. So this is the one that's likely to be leaking. I can't tell you that it was leaking, but you did notice I had a leak. So nice, new, original equipment manufacturer seals. It's looking good. We're going to replace this one that is, what? This is a 2006. So we're going to replace this old piece of hardware, which is 16 years old. And we're going to replace it with this nice new one. Hopefully it will stop the leak. If not, what the heck? I've probably spent a couple $100 on parts. Oh, I called a dealer and an independent shop. Oh, this is great. I think it's great. And I said, well, what would it cost to do what I'm doing? I didn't tell them about this sleeve. I just said, what's it going to cost to do a drain, new filter. The low price was $968. The high price was only $1,400. So if you have the skills, you have the time, and you have a second car, and you're patient, that's some serious coin. And I see why people sort of don't do it. The dealership said, oh, you know, it's lifetime fill. And I thought, okay, lifetime for the tranny, lifetime for me. And there's no reason to not change the fluid. Obviously, if the tranny is running poorly, I've been told fluid changes may not help, but I can't see how they could hurt. But I don't have a lot of experience. So we'll see what's going on. And we'll have fun. We'll get it done. And I'll take some more looks. Come back later. Bye. All right. I think this is an important item for me to share with people who are doing this connector sleeve, which I've been showing you. It only goes in one way. And you'll see that little tab down there in the bottom. If I remember correctly, it actually goes in this way because the electrical connector, which I'll show you in another video, lines up with that. Now, what is interesting about this sleeve is as you shove it in the hole, you rotate it. And you rotate it. And then eventually you'll feel it slip in. And that's generally when this little tab is there. And as it slips in, you'll get this part, this seal, in there. The problem is getting these two seals in. Now, I lubricated them with the lifeguard fluid. Why? I don't know. It's better than oil. But here's the interesting part, and the part that freaked me out. As it's sitting in the tranny like this, I took this breaker bar and I put it on here and I had to press down. And I had to press down with a fair amount of force. Now realize it's lined up correctly, but there's no way I can physically get it to go the rest of the way. I did try to muscle it, but there isn't much space, and I could feel it slip through the first seal, this one. The second, this is 1, 2, 3. So I could feel it jump this one, but I could not for the life of me to get it to do the third and final seal. Now that is important because, oh yeah, baby. Let me get some light on this subject. This connector catch will not slide up. It's in the up position right now, unless it's the connector up above is perfectly lined up. And I mean perfectly lined up. So I took this, went in, and then proceeded to push on it. Maybe I got the bigger one. I think I did get the bigger one. Yes. Yeah, let's bring Big Bertha into it. And so what I did is I slid it in so that it was pressing down on the opening that was exposed. And I had to put a fair amount of pressure in it to allow that connector sleeve to go the rest of the way. And I had to beat on this thing. So you see how I'm pressing on this bar, part of the subframe. I'm going in, and then I had to press on it firmly but gently, and I was lucky enough to get enough coverage with the tip of this bar, and I had to pull back, put pressure on that, and hold the pressure on this sleeve. And I could feel it sort of going in and out. Then as I was pressing on it, varying the amount of pressure I put on it, obviously I didn't want to break it. This connector slid in. And it really took some adjustment, some fine tuning. This will not go in unless this up here, this connector sleeve, is perfectly lined up. It's that fine. And I wanted to warn you about it because it got me a little anxious. You know, I'm not a professional mechanic. And like I said, I really respect professionals. But I put this in. It had nice pressure on this edge and that edge. I'm cranking it. As you can see, I've got some leverage, putting even pressure on the sleeve as it's pressing in. And it's long enough that I can get some really good leverage and force. And then with my free hand, I'm gently pushing up on this. You can see there's a release tab right here. So I'm gently putting pressure on that, and then I'm pushing up, and it doesn't take a lot of force. I mean, when it's ready to go, it'll just slide right in. It just zip right goes in. But I think that's an important detail, because if you are willing to take on this project, that's the kind of thing that'll make you absolutely crazy. It made me crazy. And now that I know about it, I thought, thinking, God, I wish somebody had told me how important it is to get this sleeve completely lined up and how much pressure it takes. It takes a lot of pressure to get it to pass that third O-ring and to get it to slide in the perfect position. And it makes sense because this is in the tranny. It's holding the fluid back. So a good seal is important. So I just thought I'd let you know that. It finally went in. I then not wasted my time, and a good time talking to a friend. And now I'm ready to go back to finish it. I did clean everything up with some electrical cleaner. And I will finish the project. I love you all. See you back in a minute. All right, let's see if I can get a good focus. I'll take my pry bar and put it up there. So you see the pry bar up here. And I'll see if I can get closer. There we go. Yeah, there we go. This ring here fits on top of that connector. You can see the wires that go in. And so what you do is when you're putting this in, it's only going to go in one way. It's a connector. And this tab, when you undo it, you go lefty-loosey. When you tighten it, you go righty-tighty. And it's fairly straightforward. It's fairly easy. It's not like putting in the connector tube. This goes in, this tab here. You can do it by hand. You get your hand in there if your hand's slim enough, and voila, you got it. So this part is done. I did clean off the connections with contact cleaner. Did clean off the area because I didn't want grit getting into it. And that's where we're going. I did disconnect this connector. I don't know if it's just on Jags, but I'll put this back in. And lo and behold, we'll have this part done. Then I'll start focusing on the pan, putting the fluid in. But we're making progress. And given that the cheapest price I could get was almost $1,000 to do this job, it's been worth it. Obviously, I hope it will work, but I don't suspect it won't. Things are going well, so I'll be back.